evolved because of the crisis in urban planning in Europe, in crisis in general, because everyone was suddenly looking for different kind of tools to do the professional work of urban planning, but also different kind of tools to speak with the actual users of the space. The whole discourse in Europe changed towards more participatory planning and towards more giving the voice of the real users to the real space and include it in the planning. And for me that was just a great opportunity to work on these new methodologies, because none of the parties who wanted to have these new urban planning models knew actually what it means and what can it become.
We observe a rising complexity in planning, and that's because the old tools that we had are completely obsolete. We are sometimes too used to wait for a nice future that never comes, with a nice rendering, with homogeneous solutions that will theoretically provide better life for everyone, but that never happens. And nowadays, it's related with the lack of financial sources for the administrations related to the crisis. Also related because of the people is willing to do something in their environment. But we need tools that embrace this kind of complexity. For me, the most important thing about planning is having tools that put all the information on the table to make better decisions. So the first thing is involve all the actors, and the second thing is collecting the appropriate data. And maybe the third thing is avoid those interests that are quite direct, quite monetary, and try to understand the planning process in a broader sense.
We are convinced that the Balkan cities in general, and Belgrade in particular, are kind of urban laboratory. In what is happening now in the Balkan city is what is happening or will happen soon in a lot of European cities, where the government and the state intervention is less visible, is interacting with the urban space in different form, maybe more subtle, less visible, submerged, and on the other side the people, the local network are inventing themselves, are acting and are transforming the urban space. So we have these two tensions. On one hand, a kind of vacuum of an institution, or apparent vacuum of an institution. On the other hand, a lot of energy that we need to catalyze, understand, and make it stronger and more visible. What we are trying to do in the case of Savamala in the Balkan city is to map and understand the local networks, creative network, cultural network, different actors that are working together and are clustering to transform the urban space, as I said, and trying to map these networks and at the same time try to give new scenarios to strengthen this network.
It's very difficult to understand who actually is here, what are they doing, and what is really going on, which is what makes it interesting for us as well.
I didn't know that much about Savamala before coming here, but I'm quite surprised about a lot of things that are going on. I think that it's a neighborhood that has some features that exemplify really well what is going on in the Balkans now, which is some tensions about the old fabric of the city, industrial area with old neighborhoods. At the same time, investment is coming from abroad, and we also have this kind of new urban initiatives, which are mainly micro-scale, that try to improve the city in a spontaneous way.
I think that Savamala is particularly interesting because of the different actors that exist in such a small area. You have local business, you have industry, you have informal restaurants, pop-up stands, all in a very small area, in an area that's very rich in natural resources, whether that's hubs like the Mixer House, and in such a prime location that you sort of have all of these factors that really create an interesting tension.
Well, apart from our supporting partner, which is Mixer House, who is a really huge player here, they stand behind the Mixer Festival that takes place every year. It's a huge regional design festival and music festival and art festival. But apart from Mixer, there's also KC Grad, who has also been here for quite some time, and they have their own cultural events. But we've interacted with Urban Cooks, who collaborate. It's a collaboration between Ivan Kucina, who is also our partner in this project, and Basurama, who is a group of urban planners from Madrid. And together they have developed a project as well here at the same time, and we've had some crossovers, and that was also very nice to exchange experiences and ideas and comment and compliment each other as well. It was very nice.
Yeah, I actually think that this introducing gamings, it's really useful thing, both in the participatory part of planning, but as well in as kind of an academic tool. First of all, because with a game you can show the complexity of planning, or the complexity of factors that are involved, that sometimes they are in conflict, sometimes they are in contradiction, sometimes they want the same, but they don't even know that they want the same. And you can use this kind of environment to put different actors in the same table, and using fun as a tool to show which can be the outputs and what can be the better decisions. And the second thing that this kind of tool could help to gather and to take some kind of data that you couldn't know with other standardized tools.
This wish and this passion of people to actually play with cities is quite big, and this energy can be used and streamlined in a good way. That's the one reason. The second reason is, of course, this artificiality of games. It creates a kind of safe environment when you can test, try and error different things you cannot do in a real space. To really spice up the whole discussion and try to get some undercurrent issues and taboos that not everyone wants to speak about, but somehow in this gaming environment, in this safe environment, all these things come up, and then we have completely different image about how people are perceiving Savamala and what they want and what is the ambition and how to achieve it.
It's very important to use methods that can be understood by everyone, no matter what educational level is. And game is a very effective tool in putting people together and letting them interact in an easy and entertaining way, but at the same time applying dynamics that are part of our urban process. The most important and the funniest part of the game was when we had to discuss with the other players our plans, and we had to try to combine our different ideas, and we had to put together our resources and our actors in order to achieve our goals. That was also the most difficult part, because of course we all had different ideas and we all had different goals, but we had in some way to find a common ground.
In the game, I really found the phase with investors interesting because you don't usually think about the role of external or internal money and how that affects your micro network and how all of the actors in your micro network will adjust to that investment or that money coming in.
I was very pleasantly surprised how it went, because people were really engaged. I designed different stages in the game because I also want to test the mechanisms, the psychological mechanisms, when are people really engaged and when not. And to be honest, the first stage of the game, when people used game props to envision their future Savamala, was really, I didn't expect to last it 1 hour. I projected it for 15 minutes, you know, but everyone wants to be creative, and creativity is a great incentive for gaming if you give a good gaming props.
We're actually going to hold a proper session to actually play the game with inhabitants of Savamala and other actors that are really relevant, to really now not just test but use what we have developed. This has been the dream all along, so we hope that we can organize it in 2 weeks or so, but it's happening. It's happening.
Urbego is an international platform for young planning professionals. It's a place where young professionals coming from different countries with different backgrounds, planning backgrounds, so it means economists, architects, designers, artists, can share their knowledge, their experiences, and combine with the experience of other professionals and apply this knowledge in different contexts. So Urbego normally goes in different cities, tests different methodology, planning methodology in different cities, responding to specific urban problems. So we have been already in different cities in Europe, Gothenburg, Paris, London, and more recently even in Brazil, and now we are here in the Balkans to explore a new place, to explore new issues and try to give answers. Of course, we don't have yet an answer, we have a lot of questions, but we are in a process, a learning process, to develop new approach. What we are interested in is new approaches to planning.
Urbego is for me a great chance to get in contact with other professionals like me, working on urban issues from different perspectives. That's one of the greatest part about Urbego, having to deal with people working on the same issues but with different tools and with a different background.
The challenge for Urbego is the same, or the challenge of this kind of spontaneous urban practice. It's the challenge of scale. I'm seeing these micro-interventions, which are most of the time fun, constructive, collective and collaborative, are a really good form to understand micro-situations and make micro-improvement in the city. But I think for us as an organization, as a planners in general, the biggest challenge is try to jump to a bigger scale and understand how you can build bridges between the macro policy and these micro-interventions. And I don't know yet how to do it.
I think that what is happening in Belgrade and Balkan cities is very interesting and probably will continue. I don't see a big intervention from the municipality and the state. Will continue like that, but the future will be maybe that all these actors that are active, probably they will start to collaborate more. And this is also what we are trying to achieve with our workshop, put the people in contact, create collaboration. And through the collaboration, probably there will be a kind of new strategy for the city that is bottom up. So start from the people that really believe and live in the city.
The Belgrade experience is definitely a very important step in the Balkan project that Urbego is developing and that will have a follow-up in Skopje and Tirana, but not only for that. The Belgrade experience focused on urban gaming. It's a good chance to test on a very important tool for urban planning that is going to be very important and very useful also in many other situations. Not only, of course, among the Urbego activities, but also for our own personal, private, professional activity.
The project doesn't stop here. We are going also in Tirana, in Albania, and after that we are going in Skopje, in Macedonia. Our aim is also to go in other cities in the Balkans region to try to test the methodology. We apply here a kind of gaming planning, and we will see if this game can be adapted to a different Balkan context, how we can make this game more and more productive and useful for the local people.